We are officially out of beta. If anyone needs any beta, you will have to look elsewhere because we don't have any anymore. This is Vaguely Scientific. I have been restored to factory settings and am still crashing daily. I am Derek. And boot sequence complete. Jim Drive is now active. Please do not remove while operating. Hi, Jim.
I know how to drive. I mean, that's a known fact.
That's what that means.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You will need administrator permission to delete our guest this week. Please welcome Hunter.
Hello, happy to be here.
Hooray. So this is a show, as the listeners know, where listeners send in questions to hear our vaguely scientific answers, and who knows, we might even get some of those answers right. But first, it's time for Jim's fun science fact of the day. Jim?
All right. American lobsters can be blue. This is an incredibly rare mutation that occurs in one lobster out of every 2 million.
I've seen a lot of pictures of blue lobsters, and I didn't realize that was rare.
Yeah. I think it's just because when people find one, they take a lot of pictures of it because it is very rare.
Yeah.
They're polluting the sample.
Maybe. I always think it's really funny. This is unrelated, but it is kind of a funny story. There was the crab in Japan, and I guess that somebody found one of these crabs. It looked like it had a face on it, and it didn't have a face on it. It just looked like a face. They threw it away, and when they would find the crabs with the faces, they would throw them back out. And so they ended up making it so that a lot more of these crabs, through artificial selection, had the faces on them.
I like that.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting.
I want to do that, but like other designs.
Mm-hmm.
I want to like build a Unicode alphabet of crabs.
Yeah.
Like a font.
There is a poster. I guess it's kind of famous. It is called the Timor Personidae poster, and it is a picture of like a bunch of taxonomy pinned insects, mostly beetles, I guess, where their elytra look like horror monsters, like from different movies, and they're fake. I mean, they're obviously fake, but it's a really cool picture, and there are now a lot of people like using CGI technology to make it look like they've actually discovered these insects out there, which I think is fun.
I love that. I think if I knew a lot of CGI and I had more free time than I do, I would make some insects.
Yeah.
I want to invent a monstrosity, but like a small one.
A small one, yeah. Well, it's not really going to hurt anybody, but it looks like Pennywise the Clown. I
think that in restaurants, when you're getting the lobster out of the tank, I think they shouldn't have the rubber bands on the claws. Like we're gonna get the lobster and we're gonna cook it and eat it. It's not like they're gonna get a fighting chance. It's more of just like the principle of the thing is like they get to think they fought. Yeah,
they get one last little snip in before the time.
I gotta do another shout out. We're not even at the first question yet. So many tangents. Another shout out to a YouTube channel that I've watched for the past few years. Brady Brandwood, I think is the name, but it's a series called Leon the Lobster. This guy went to a grocery store and bought a lobster out of the tank and rehabilitated it and kept it in a tank and like documented feeding it and how much it grew when it molted and stuff. It was fun.
That's interesting.
Thank you for that. I'm out here being pretty pessimistic and internet's is getting ruined, everything's bad, and just like that's also happening, and internet's great. Internet's good. What a good thing. I want to follow the journey of a rehabilitated lobster. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I think that's kind of fun.
I've enjoyed it. Well, speaking of things that are kind of fun, I think probably we should finally get to our first question for the week, which is anonymously submitted, but fun to read. Here we go. Why can't I take a picture of the moon? seriously, like my eyes can see it from here. What is happening with the camera that it can't just see what I want it to see?
Yeah.
That's a great question. I tell you what, I have a camera and I'd love to know the answer to this.
So I know there is a technically correct answer, but I want to, before we get into it, I want to give you some of my guesses.
Okay.
Because they're short and not helpful.
Oh, I've got a guess. It's because the moon's not real. Is that the guess?
Oh, that's one of them. That's one of them. Okay, so my first guess was, what else doesn't show up in cameras? Vampires. The moon might be a vampire, but as the Smashing Pumpkins revealed in 1995, the world is a vampire. And we can take pictures of the world just fine. So I think we vetoed that. Second guess, I have three. Second guess, the moon is related to Bigfoot. As we know, Bigfoot is naturally out of focus, so I think it's just a genetic condition.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the third that has just a nugget of actual scientific information that I've perverted. The refresh rate of the night sky conflicts with the shutter speed of most cameras.
Oh,
yeah.
That's gotta be it.
Yeah.
For sure.
There's a vertical scan lines. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are my pitches.
The first two, I was like, this is a great bit. And the third one hurt me.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What you're going to do is turn down the brightness on your moon, and then you're fine.
Yeah. The first thing to know with why we can't take a good photo of the moon is like, what are the good photos of the moon? A number have already been taken by the astronauts that went to the moon.
Yeah.
They brought a camera with them. They brought a Hasselblad 500 series camera.
Oh.
That was heavily modified. And at one point recently, NASA scanned all of the original rolls of 120 film and uploaded it to Flickr. So you've seen all of the famous and like edited up and fixed images, but you can go find just the full roll and like, hey, those astronauts actually got a couple of those out of focus. Like they didn't nail every shot, and it's pretty charming.
That's something that we were talking about recently, because we talked about moon landing conspiracies, and it was one of the things we had brought up was the fact like, oh, you know, the pictures all look great. And it's like, A, they've been edited, and B, they only showed you the pictures that looked good enough to show.
Yeah, they showed the pics.
Yeah.
All right, so let's answer this question in a slightly less vaguely scientifically way.
Okay.
So the first reason that you can't take a photo of the Hunter here, ex-professional photographer, current media professor. The first reason that you can't take a picture of the moon is because the Earth is in the way.
Even if you're standing on the moon, on the Earth, looking at the moon,
it's not always in the way.
Okay.
But sometimes the moon's on the other side of the Earth.
Gotcha.
I could take a picture of the ground though.
Yeah.
You can point the camera at the moon across the Earth, and
wouldn't help.
Call up all of our Australian friends and have them take it for me.
So if you want to take a photo of the moon, you need the Earth to not be in the way.
Yeah. Step one: Earth and moon in a good line, not a bad line.
But it's absolutely right. Is the moon's spinning all over,
right? Yeah.
And most of the time, it's just not in a good spot to take a good photo of it.
Yeah.
It's going to be behind a tree.
Right.
Or behind a dog. Or behind another dog.
And sometimes it's just cloudy out, you know?
It's cloudy out, yeah. Or it's a solar eclipse. Terrible time to get a good photo of the moon.
Great time to get a good photo of the solar atmosphere, though.
Yeah.
I did that.
So only certain times a day, or I should say of the day, only certain times where the sun and the moon and the Earth and you on the Earth are going to be in the right position to like make it even worthwhile to try.
Yeah.
The second reason it's really hard to take a good photo of the moon is because it's really far away.
Yeah.
And therefore very small. Photographers, we don't care about the real size of things. We care about the size of things in our field of view. So the sun, small. If I'm worrying about my shadows and how soft or hard the edges are, sun is very small.
Yeah.
Moon, likewise, pretty small. Just a little dot, taking a very small percentage of my field of view.
Yeah.
So that's the main reason. That hasn't answered the question yet in any serious attempt, because those are the obvious reasons.
Sure.
But it's certainly worth like emphasizing that it's really far away and it's usually in a bad spot to get a good photo of it. the main reason that besides it being really, really small is something called dynamic range. Dynamic range is the difference between the brightest thing and the darkest thing in an image. That range of brightnesses is your dynamic range. Our human eyeballs are really good at sort of adjusting the brightness of what we're looking at all the time. We still do some, like, you could call it global adjustments. Our pupils dilate, but also just our brain is really good at looking at a dark thing and just sort of brightening it in our mind and looking at a bright thing and darkening it as it processes the image, so to speak. Cameras don't.
Yeah.
So when you point your phone at the sky, it's mostly dark if it's nighttime, and then one very bright thing. And your camera's going to go, oh, this is a photo of dark.
Yeah.
And then the moon is going to be way too bright. And you're going to have to manually take over the settings to adjust for that. And unfortunately, most phones, the cameras that we have on us all the times, don't let you do that very easily.
Right. I got an old point and shoot camera. It's, I can't even remember what it was. It was some like $200 Canon. It doesn't have like a lens that I can take off or anything, but it did have a lot of manual settings that I could adjust. And with that camera, I could get a fairly okay picture of the moon if I reduced the shutter speed down to like 1/2000th or something like that of a second. Like, I had to really dial it down a lot in order to make it so that I could see the moon. And I don't think I've ever been able to get a good picture of the moon with a phone camera at all.
Yeah, well, then you weren't shooting on a Samsung Galaxy S21.
That's true. I have not been.
Because that's the camera that will insert a different moon photo for you.
What?
Yeah, Samsung got caught in their auto editing image enhancement features. You would zoom into a blurry photo of the moon, you'd take the photo, and then it would just put a different photo of the moon on top and say, hey, here's your photo.
That is unbelievable.
So that's interesting. This is an anecdotal thing that comes to mind with just this topic. My mother entered a photography contest, and she entered just a photo of a landscape that she had taken, and she didn't expect to win, and it was just kind of like a friendly, low stakes competition contest, whatever it was. And the winner, voted on by the spectators, the ultimate winner was a picture of the moon, isolated, center. And I remember looking at it thinking, that looks like every other picture of the moon.
Yeah, there's not a lot of variety.
Like, why does that win?
Photos. It's really hard to get a unique angle on this sphere.
Well, and here's the part of the question that's interesting to me is the last bit. Like, why can't it just see what I want it to see? Because every time I have been tempted to take a picture of the moon, it was not because of the moon specifically. It was because of, like, I could see the stars around it, or some cool framing of, like, tree branches, or the clouds looked really cool, and was unable to capture the image I thought was, like, pretty in a camera. So that's where I struggle.
Yeah, you're on the photographer's journey.
Yeah.
Because the first step is being like, oh, it's not what I have in my mind. And then the second step is being like, and I know a couple things I can do to maybe try. And then the third step is giving up and looking at what you took and saying, this is good enough.
Yeah.
Please pay me.
This is good enough. Please pay me. Yeah, that's fair. I wanted to touch on mentioning that cameras are bad at brightening things that are dark, because I now have a black cat living with me.
Yeah.
And like any person who owns pets, I take a lot of pictures of
yeah, you have some nice eyeballs.
Right. And
floating in the corner.
Yeah. And I'm always surprised at just, wow, I cannot see any detail in this picture. Yeah. It just looks like a lump.
Your cat's like, this is great. This is what I've been going for, by the way. Like, this was my intention.
Yeah.
With the look that I put on this morning.
Well, I figure that it's probably one of those predator things where the cat is like, haha, my prey cannot see me because I am just a sphere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the look that my cat goes for, but for different reasons. Yeah, there's all sorts of things like that. Once you start to, like, notice where cameras fail, polarization will be the next rabbit hole that anyone will fall into. Is once you notice that some cameras and photos, you can just sort of make reflections less reflecty and less like the surface of water will have less white shiny parts, and you can sort of look through it more. Or like haze casting off a mountain. You can just like put a polarizing filter on it and then just take better photos. And it's one of those things that once you notice it, every time you go around with a camera and you don't have one of those, you'll be like, this isn't even worth it. Like, I don't have the right equipment. I'm not taking this photo.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Guess I have to enjoy my vacation.
I can't tell you how many times I've been like at the zoo and everybody's just like taking tons of pictures, and I'll look over and say, well, I can't really see the elephant, so I don't even care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's the only good zoo photo is a poop zoo photo. You gotta catch the animals pooping.
Yeah. Well, that makes me think though of the filters that I have for my telescope, and they are in a number of different colors, which help to sort of exaggerate the contrast of different things, so you can see different details on not just the moon but a lot of the other planets as well. And that's the kind of thing that I would expect you would have to get for a camera to be able to see a lot of the fine detail of something like the moon. And I mean, I certainly know that if you want to take a picture of the sun, you need extremely specialized equipment to do that.
Yeah, please don't go take photos of the sun through a telescope. Please, hey listener, if you have a telescope and you're thinking if you want to point it at the sun, please don't do that.
Every once in a while, we have a public service announcement on this show.
Don't take a device magnifying light to a single point and let that point be your retina. Yeah.
Also, don't fill your tires with hydrogen. I mean, these are good life skills.
Yeah.
Or good life advice anyway.
There's a few other reasons that taking a photo of the moon is hard. One is like the air is in the way.
Oh.
It's not entirely
that makes
clear.
sense.
There's just a lot of it. Atmosphere, haze, dust.
That's interesting.
Pollution. So, like we put observatories in like places that have less atmospheric interference.
Yeah, and they tend to like to put them on mountains as well.
Yeah.
There's a couple I think the one in Hawaii is pretty high up in an altitude. A couple of the ones in Chile are pretty high up in the mountains. So less air means less blurring, basically.
Yeah, less very small birds.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's like your normal telescope user. Like that's your knowledge. You're like, air's in the way. We got that. The other one is going to be the lenses are bad at this. I like to help people understand lenses when I'm teaching by thinking of a projector. So imagine taking a photo of the sky, putting it on a projector, and I take the projector and just start backing it up farther and further away until only the moon is only like 1% of the degree of the image is like taking up your projector screen. And just think about how far away the projector is from the screen. That's effectively, the same thing, but opposite is going to be your zoom distance. Your when you have a lens that zooms in really to all that millimeter distance, that's going to be your zoom.
Yeah.
We're basically just taking the lens and we're just pushing it further away from the sensor so that as it spreads out, a smaller bit of it hits the sensor and thus is zoomed in. And the moon's small. It's so small. And your phone is so thin. It can't be zooming in. And after a while, it'll won't zoom in. It'll do what it calls digital zoom, which is just cropping.
Yeah. Well, and that's funny because I was just thinking about that. And as you were explaining, the lens physically has to move further. I'm like, that's why they do that.
Yes.
Yes.
Never occurred to me.
You zoom in, lens gets bigger. It literally has to make more distance for simple lenses. There's more optical elements inside of the lens that have to, sometimes it'll get bigger and then get smaller again in some complex way. But
which I guess is also probably why a lot of phones nowadays have sort of an external bump where the camera actually rests.
It is the exact and only reason they have the terrible bump.
That's interesting.
This is all. So I've referenced on the show before that a couple years ago I got really interested into doing like macro photography of like tiny insects and stuff. And it's worth mentioning that the person who suggested I get extension tubes for this purpose was in fact Hunter.
Ah.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. Did it work?
It works okay. I mean, I'm very particular, and I will stand there for hours looking at a garden spider through my incredibly zoomed in camera, being like, "Oh, this is out of focus. I want this in focus." And then don't even get me started on insects that won't stand still.
Oh, they're the worst. I have a tripod where you can take the center post out and then put it in upside down, so the camera goes down to the and like you can hover the camera like an inch above the beetle that won't stay still, and then your photo sucks anyway.
I just think it's fun to look at them. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sort of the opposite of astrophotography is macro photography. Yeah, quite literally, macro and telescope. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was more affordable for me, is the thing. So I went with that.
There's no hacky solution for telescope on your camera. I mean, you could just take a lens and like extend it, but it wouldn't wouldn't get you very far.
Before we move on, does anybody have anything else they definitely wanted to say before we move on?
Chromatic aberration, spherical aberration, astigmatism, vignetting.
I have one of those.
Mm-hmm. Their lenses are hard to make.
Yeah. Well, that's like the Hubble Space Telescope. I can't remember how big the lens actually is across, but the telescope itself is the size of a school bus. And when they sent it up, it was not cut correctly. And the error was like 1/20th the width of a human hair.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, to me, such a ridiculously small error. It's like, why did it make everything blurry?
I know.
That's just how lenses.
The worst.
Yeah, exactly. How did they? Well, I do know how they missed that. Actually, they trusted this machine that had never been tested before, and when the machine said, "Hey, this lens is right," and they tested it against the old machine that said, "Hey, this lens is wrong," they decided, "Oh, the new machine is right that we've never checked before."
Yeah, I have one final thing.
Go for it.
You're not the smooth cowboy you think you are. Your hands are not as steady.
Whoa.
Hold that phone up. Yeah.
We're calling you out.
You're not. You don't got as steady hands as you think you do.
You're not Cool Hand Luke.
Jim, you mentioned having to stop the shutter speed down. That was maybe to make the image darker, but it was also to make all of your shaky hands stabilize that moon.
Yeah. Well, I had it on a tripod, so my hands had nothing to do with it. But I will say that is one thing that I do like about my phone camera, is that it compensates for my extremely shaky hands in a way that I certainly couldn't get with my point and shoot camera.
Yeah.
I didn't think that the macro photography thing would necessarily be relevant, but it is a little bit. Very noticeable when doing that. Littlest bits of shaking, so much so that I use the self timer so that I don't have to physically push the button on the camera, because that makes it shake.
Little 2-second timer.
Yeah.
Press, hold your breath.
Yep.
Wait for the spider to jump away.
Yeah. All right, listeners, we're going to take a break from answering questions for a second. Well, I am anyway, because I have a couple questions for Hunter and Jim in a segment that we like to call Guess the Breakthrough.
Ooh.
This is a little bit of a game show format. I'm going to describe the circumstances of an invention or a scientific discovery in history without telling you what it is. And after I've read this, I'm going to ask what you think the breakthrough was. You will have to guess the breakthrough, hence the title of the segment. Full credit to Jim, who came up with this segment, but I liked it so much I've stolen it.
Wow. I mean, we're all part of the big, vaguely scientific happy family here.
So I have 3 breakthroughs for you, and I will just go ahead and start with the first one here.
Mm-hmm.
In 1943, Richard James, a mechanical engineer in the United States Navy, was experimenting with tension springs in the hopes of finding a way to stabilize delicate instruments while on a ship. One day, he accidentally knocked one of these experimental springs off of a shelf but instead of clattering to the ground and coiling up, the spring seemed to come to life. James's wife remarked that this creature, quote unquote, was very sneaky as it walked around the room. What manner of monster had Richard James discovered?
It's the Slinky.
Yeah.
It is. It is, in fact, the Slinky.
It is. I really wanted to say Coily from that one horrible riff track short.
But you didn't ask me if it was the Slinky. I was so ready to say that, and now it's like, what monster is it?
That's why I wanted to say Coily.
Well, that was with the flavor of the rest of the thing, describing it as coming to life.
I see.
I don't think I ever knew that story before. That's interesting. Like, I kind of put it together when you said he knocked it off the shelf and it, like, came to life as it walked across the floor. But I
knew the story. I was so ready.
Oh, okay.
I was going to interrupt Derek and just yell, Slinky. and I didn't I did, but it got edited out.
Yeah.
I
that is
neither
definitely
confirm
true.
nor deny that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the reason I snuck in that James's wife remarked that it was very sneaky is because slinky is actually the Swedish word for stealthy or sneaky. So, yeah, our first one is the Slinky. So, our second breakthrough that I have for you. The year is 1895. German physicist Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen, I don't know how to pronounce that.
I think that's right.
Was passing. Jim knows this one already.
I may not. I just know that guy's name.
German physicist Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen was passing electricity through glass tubes, which in turn would emit invisible force. Röntgen covered the tubes in black cardboard, hoping to contain the phenomenon and keep it from escaping. However, when he turned the electricity on, he saw a strange fluorescent glow across the room. It seemed this force was capable of passing through solid objects. When he placed his wife's hand before the source of a photographic plate, the resulting image revealed bones, joints, the pale outline of her flesh, and hovering ghost-like in the dark, her wedding ring. And seeing her own skeleton, Bertha Röntgen whispered, "I have seen my death." What was this invisible energy that pierced matter, rendered the body transparent, and etched death's image into the glass?
Was it X-rays?
It was X-rays, was indeed. I told you would get all of these.
I figured it was potentially that, but I also wonder what else that guy did.
That's a good point. When you get to the place where X-rays are flying out of your contraptions, like there are a couple other things that you were doing on that path of experimentation, you know?
You don't start with finding out X-rays exist.
So the X-rays were an accidental discovery, but he was studying light rays passing through glass tubes. So why he was doing that, I'm not sure.
That's a good point. This section is all about accidental discoveries, and I'm guessing Röntgen probably came up with some on-purpose discoveries.
Who knows?
Did he discover that high voltages make your hair stand on end?
He may have. I don't know if he publicized it, but he may have discovered that. Well, I have one more for you. For this one, we jump now to 1921, where a young medical student and part-time police officer named John Larson watches suspects squirm under questioning. Some cry, some sweat, some stay silent, but something gives them away, and Larson has found a way to exploit that. One of his assistants, a psychologist named William Marston, watches with fascination as Larson tests an invention on students first and then suspects in actual criminal cases, tracking the flickers of fear buried under their calmest words. Based on his observations, Marston eventually goes on to create a comic book heroine with a golden rope that compels those bound to tell the truth. What invention allowed John Larson to look into the minds of the guilty?
The magic lasso of truth.
Yes.
This is a lie detector test, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the polygraph machine.
Yeah.
Polygraph. What are the different things that it measures?
Heart rate.
Galvanic skin response.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, like, skin wetness, right?
Yeah.
That is one of them. I had them written and I deleted it because I tried to go with the whole pulp narration thing.
Got it. Sorry, I was not vague enough on my scientific question.
I'm the vague one here. Yeah, so those were our Guess the Breakthrough questions, and I assumed you would get all of them, but I had fun writing them.
Yeah, it was fun.
Made me feel smart.
Yeah.
I like that. That's sort of what I want out of a game show.
Fair.
Is they need to be hard enough that you're like, oh, my friend didn't get this, but I did. It's like, that's the, if everybody at the table gets the Jeopardy questions, no one's having fun. But if some of the people at the Jeopardy are getting the Jeopardy questions, then my mom continues to beat us down. So
it's all about fostering a false sense of self-importance.
Yeah.
That's what game shows are.
I wish I said that with less earnest. I was like, yeah, it is. Absolutely. Like,
well, since this is vaguely scientific, we do have a second question that we might as well talk about now. Question 2 this week. What's the most ridiculous but theoretically possible way to generate electricity?
I love this question.
Okay.
Because immediately I started thinking of ridiculous ways to generate electricity. But then, like, I'm looking back on the question, it was, what's the most ridiculous?
Ooh.
Which is a really difficult qualifier on it.
It's a bit subjective, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because in essence, ridiculous, like, that's worthy of ridicule. So how much will you ridicule it?
One of my favorite ones is one of those forever flashlights. I think they're called Faraday flashlights sometimes, but they're the flashlight that you shake and the magnet goes through the coil of wire. And as it does so, it induces an electric current. And I think it would be really funny if you got 500 of those Faraday flashlights and strung them into the wall and just had 500 people all day, every just standing there shaking the flashlight, and that powers, a TV or something.
Yeah.
That would be very funny, really impractical, probably ethically dubious.
Yeah. Well, I got you. There is, we can just install these inductors, these generators in fitness places. What's the word I'm looking for? A gym.
Like a gym.
Now you know everything you need to know about me.
I think that's interesting because there was talk a while back about the zero waste house, where they wanted to like make it so like you walking along the floor, it would absorb the energy of your footsteps and recycle it into power and stuff. And I like that idea and don't know how much that was actually developed into anything.
There is wasted kinetic energy everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You got watches that we could spin on our wrists and they can generate enough to power themselves. We've got Skechers that light up when you walk. Just generating that energy into useless light energy for frivolous. The cool kids.
Yeah.
That could be powering something important, like my Game Boy.
Could be. Like my game. So I wanna take a turn a little bit. I'll throw a curveball because I'm gonna give a scientific spiel for a moment here. But before I give you my actual answer, I wanted to just kind of talk about how we generate power in one specific way, because it'll make sense when I tie it back around. So I wanna say, let's say you have a bicycle wheel that is spinning and you reach out and you touch the tire. Your hand will, one, slow the wheel down and also become warm. And what's happening is the wheel had kinetic energy and your hand resisted the motion, and that resistance converts some of the wheel's kinetic energy into heat or thermal energy. So now suppose you attach a generator to that wheel, and inside the generator there's a coil of wire and a magnet. When the wheel spins the generator, it forces the coil and the magnet to move relative to each other, and this motion creates electricity. So the generator resists the wheel spinning, and the resistance is how energy gets transferred. So what I was thinking is, what else spins? Well, a really prominent spinning thing I thought of was the Earth itself, right? We could harness the rotation of the Earth to generate energy. Here's why this doesn't work, is because the Earth spins freely and it's stable, but there's nothing to resist it. And if you were to resist it, it would slow the rotation of the Earth down.
Oh.
So this is my ridiculous pitch, is that if we could somehow build a giant flywheel in space, anchored to Earth, and slow Earth spin just a tiny bit while accelerating the flywheel in the opposite direction, you could extract energy. Now, here's why this is impractical. It would require probably more mass than exists on Earth. And also, even if you could do it, everyone would probably die.
Right. Well, I mean, how much are you slowing it down? Because, like,
just a tiny bit.
I was gonna say, if you slow the rotation down by, like, add 3 seconds to the day, I don't think that's gonna kill anyone. Maybe.
Actually, if you could fix the timing, if you can get rid of leap years and the leap second issue, I think there'd be a lot of computer scientists who'd be real happy with you.
Yeah.
Just get rid of that approximately fourth of a day.
Yeah.
I think that's a brilliant idea.
Why are you building a flywheel? The moon's right there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. That's a good point.
You already have a large kinetic mass of energy.
Now, can we convert that into electricity, though? Because that's what the question asked, I think.
In theory, yes. It's just we wouldn't really be able to do anything with that electricity.
Death ray.
I have a few pitches.
Okay.
I have a few pitches.
Before we move on, I just want to add, that went in a really different direction than I thought it was, because you were talking about wheels and spinning, and I was like, oh, we're going to talk about like regenerative braking, where the car is able to get some electrical power from the waste heat from the brakes. And it's like, that sure did not go where I thought it was going to go.
I'm not a scientist, Jim.
In general, is one big flywheel more efficient than many small flywheel?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question.
That's a math problem waiting for me to do it later.
And that's why we're friends. I also have a pitch involving Earth. So your electrical outlet has 3 prongs on it. One of them is your voltage source. One of them is your zero reference level. They close the circuit, and the third one, that lower one that makes the mouth of the screaming outlet, that just is a stick that goes into the ground. We've been dumping our electrons into the ground all for so many years. We've been treating it as this large neutral mass, and all that static discharge has been I want that back. I want to harvest electrons from the Earth back out. I don't have the how figured out quite yet.
If you connect all of the ground lines to one big centralized battery, that's what you got to do.
Yeah. Instead, we cut the ground poles so they no longer go into the ground. The lightning rods no longer go into the ground, and instead they go over to my neighbor's garage, where the electric charger is.
Yeah. Not your garage.
No.
No.
The HOA would never allow it.
No.
It has to be a community battery.
Yeah.
I want to know how much, because we keep talking about all this wasted energy that, like, there's got to be a lot of recycled energy out there that I just don't know about. I want to know how much we are doing to do that.
Water. The water cycle.
Yeah. I was going to say a very long time ago, the sun shone on a bunch of plants, and those plants grew up big and healthy, and then they died, and then they turned into coal, and now we're burning the coal. So we're just recycling sunlight. It's solar power, but 250 million years removed.
Yeah.
Everything's solar power.
Yeah.
For extremely incorrect definitions of solar power.
Yeah. Well, it's removed, several degrees removed solar power. I don't know.
Yeah.
I did check. One large flywheel is more efficient than many small ones, according to American Scientist. So, Well, you got to make the one big flywheel, which is what you had proposed. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my pitch.
Yeah.
I had two more pitches. One of them is the Earth is a magnetic field. It has one famously. And electricity is created whenever electrons move through an electric field. Just not that much usually. We got to really coil it up and move them all in the same direction. But if you were to take a big long wire and hand it to the most just bratty, kinetic fourth grader that thing's flying around everywhere. That thing's not standing still. Like if you just wrapped my nephew in copper, we're getting electricity is what I'm saying. There's enough to pull out there. We have the motion. The kinetic energy has solved itself.
Well, that's converting glucose to energy, I think, is what
yes.
Feed them sugar.
And there's too much glucose in that.
I mean, to be fair, all energy is not being created nor destroyed. It is being converted from one form to another. So, therefore, I agree with everything Hunter said.
Thank you, Jim. My last pitch is that electrons are already moving all the time. They're just not moving in the same direction, sort of like air molecules bouncing around. There's no wind, but we still have air pressure and all that. So all we need to do is sort of just get lucky and just wait for that infinitesimally small chance that the electrons move in the same direction for a moment and capture that.
Yeah.
It's not like we're really pushing electrons. And from the electrons' point of view, it's chilling.
Yeah.
It didn't notice anything. It's just bouncing around.
The question does not specify consistent or a large quantity of electricity. So that's fair.
Yeah, just any ferrite material. And
random happenstance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All we have to do is fight entropy. How hard could that be?
Yeah. That's easy. I do that every day.
I was reading about the buildup of static that can happen on pipes when something was flowing through the inside of the pipe. It can build up a static charge on the outside of the pipe. I say we go around and harvest all the charge off all the pipes.
I like that. That's great. Pipes of what?
What did I see? It was
sewage. Please say sewage.
Combustible liquids or fuels like petrol, which I guess would be gasoline for us Americans. Contact between cargo and pipelines during unloading and loading on ships. Steam pipes, water jets. There's plenty of places you could harvest pipe electricity.
I just want to say there's precedent for this in the metric system, but I always enjoy the fact that, Jim, you always default to the British or the Canadian term, and then they say, or this for us Americans.
I'm reading it off of a website, so I can't open it.
Okay, all right.
Another common source of electricity is getting water up high and letting it go down and capturing it as it goes down. Those are your... Hoover Dam power supplies. There is a lot of water already sort of up high waiting to come down in all of those pesky glaciers. If we melt the glaciers,
well, good
that's
news.
A lot of kinetic energy. I think we should harvest global warming into electrical energy that we can use to power my Steam Deck.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's happening anyway. We might as well make use of it, right?
If you're not using that power for something good, then it's just going to waste. We're melting the glaciers for nothing.
Yeah. Well, for fun, but...
And if there's anything I hate more than melting glaciers, it's waste.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
If you're going to melt them, you might as well put them to good use. Speaking of global warming, that made me think of one that is so preposterously impractical that it is literally impossible to do at this moment. But maybe someday, I don't know. So my idea is to go to Venus and somehow open a portal from Venus to Mars and So Venus's air pressure is about 95 times greater than the Earth's air pressure, and Mars's air pressure is about 100 times weaker than Earth's air pressure. So you open up this portal, and it's going to just blast, tons and tons of air out of Venus and onto the surface of Mars through the magic portal.
Yeah.
And you put a generator there, a spinning turbine, it's going to power your whole planet forever, I think.
Yeah. Well, you've invented perpetual motion.
Yeah. All I had to do is create an impossible portal from one planet to another that violates causality and the laws of physics as we know them.
That's all it takes.
I was just going to tie a big rope around Pluto and then pull on it and let it
yeah.
Create energy that way. Because it's not even a planet, was my joke.
I mean, it isn't.
You could attach a rope to the moon and have that rope. Okay, let me paint a picture for you. Well, welcome to my brain forest is what I'm going to say.
Large dog collar. I'm with you.
All right, so you take a big metal pipe and wrap it the whole way around the planet. You have a string that goes from the moon to the metal pipe. And where it connects, you kind of wrap the string around, and then you wrap that with some kind of fuzzy cloth. And as the moon goes, it pulls this piece of fabric around the pipe, and it pulls the fuzzy cloth. It's just going to build up a ton of static electricity, just like when
Jim, you're on this static electricity kick, and I am here for it.
Yeah. I mean, it's so easy to do. A child can do it in a very literal sense. So,
yeah.
I was just going to put some alligator clips at the bottom of the slip and slide, but
Oh yeah. You just got to make sure that the electricity is flowing the correct direction to the away from the slip and slide, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like we have listed several alternate versions of the multiple horses on giant hamster wheels technique of generating energy.
I'm surprised we haven't said the hamster wheel thing yet, to be honest with you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like we kind of have, just, it all kind of works the same way.
I just think an infinite hamsters running on infinite wheels.
Yeah, well, infinite, that's the key word right there, is infinite.
Mm-hmm.
Because then we don't have an energy crisis.
Yeah, yeah.
What if one day a week everyone worked from home, but they still drove their commute? They just put the car in neutral and kept it in their garage? And then powered up their alternator and got that power back.
Yeah.
From everybody with their cars running.
Right, right.
Because they're going to be running anyway. Let's just one day a week. Let's take it back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
you have
see
to make sure you leave the
that.
door open to get the carbon monoxide out. But
I left that there. I set the tee up and I was like, please somebody take a swing at this. Because there's a listener out there who caught it and was like chopping.
Yeah. No, I like leaving it hanging there.
I just like saying carbon monoxide. That's a great set of words.
I'm stuck on the really dumb joke that goes all the way back to your mention of Pluto and then the dog collar comment. And I was like, let's not give sole energy rights to Disney, please. But
my last note that I wrote down was I spent a long time looking up blood iron levels and about how much electricity is in our bloods.
Is that a
and
lot?
I didn't get anywhere with it. Turns out not very good at that. But
the Matrix lied to me.
But there's something there.
The Matrix lied to me personally.
I thought about bringing up the Matrix because of the whole they harness humans for energy in the movies, and we had talked about how that's not super efficient. But we also talked about the original pitch was that they were using their brains for processing power, which didn't translate into the films. So I thought that was an interesting detail.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite Matrix movie? And why is it number 2?
I like the first one. I cannot answer the follow-up to that question.
Why is it number 2? I have to stop and think about that.
The albino twins.
All right, I'm going to do the wrap-up is what I'm going to do. Because
I'm just thinking about this second Matrix movie. I'm not ready to end yet.
I had to stop for a moment and I was like, the albino twins? And it's like, oh, right, those two spooky guys.
The spooky guys,
saying.
Yeah.
Underrated cinema history.
That highway chase scene actually rules pretty hard.
The Matrix sequels are very underrated. It's just
Yeah.
The Matrix is so good. It's sort of like, I think recently Fury Road and Furiosa is a good example. Furiosa, perfectly good movie. Fury Road, maybe the best action movie ever made. Really sets the sequel up for failure, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that happens a lot with like good sequels to movies. And I think you hit the nail on the head, because the Matrix sequels are like, there's nothing wrong with them. They're all good. It's just the first one is like the iconic, self-contained, has basically an ending to it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah. So what was your favorite vignette from Animatrix?
Oh,
I don't remember any.
The detective on the train. I think the guy that did Cowboy Bebop did that one.
Oh,
that was my favorite one.
I was unprepared for you to have an answer to that question.
I fumbled the Spooky Twins, but I remember the Animatrix pretty well.
Wild. That's a wild order of operations.
Right?
Like the priorities going on in your mind, Jim.
Yeah.
I feel like the fact that it's animated helps with Jim's memory.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
What's the obvious answer to the electricity question that all the viewers or listeners are screaming in their cars about?
I honestly feel like probably something to do with rubbing balloons on dogs. Like, I feel like that's...
There's got to be better ways to make static electricity than balloons. Like,
you didn't ask for the best way. You asked me what I thought most people were gonna think of.
I know we all grew up watching Discovery Channel, but like surely there's like other materials.
I just think that's the first thing that's gonna pop into people's minds. I don't know. I could be wrong. First thing that popped into my mind.
I mean, I think it makes perfect sense, other than the fact that it would be wildly impractical, just like everything else we talked about here today.
Yeah.
In fact, I think that qualifies it even more.
Let's not give ourselves the benefit of the doubt in that we've said anything useful today.
Something about sticking too large, like an anode and a cathode in Ohio. Sorry, Idaho. Oh, I messed it up. Something about sticking an anode and a cathode in Idaho and getting potato power. There it is.
Yeah.
But
that works.
Get nailed it. Yeah, we don't. That's...
Ooh, what if we stuck a giant... Like, what if we did that exact thing, but they were 4,000 miles long and penetrated to the Earth's core?
Yeah.
And I don't know... I think that's as far as I thought, to be fair.
Do we power anything with the heat from the Earth's core, Jim?
Geothermal power is pretty big.
That's the whole thing. Yeah.
So yeah, that has legs.
So anyway, in the 1992 film The Core, 92? 97. Wait, when did The Core come out? What was your favorite part about the film The Core?
I've never seen it, but I'm going to throw out that they had a nuclear bomb, and that's pretty cool.
2003. I saw this film in theaters. It was the first time I left a theater, and I thought to myself, movies can be bad? Like before that, you're a kid and a movie's a movie, you know? And then one day it's like, oh, hold on a second. I've developed taste. Oh,
that's
no.
not even the movie I was thinking about. Okay, maybe I haven't seen this movie.
Oh my God, it's incredible. It's bad. No, let me be so clear. This is one of the worst movies.
It's an incredible watch, is what you're saying.
I've seen Cool World and I'm alive, so I don't know. So listeners, this week, I would like you to let us know, why can't you take a picture of electricity, and why doesn't it always come out the way you want it to look? And that's ridiculous. I don't know. I tried this time. But if you have any thoughts on that or anything else we talked about, you can email us at feedback@vaguelyscientific.com, or you can comment on our blog, or you can like us on Facebook, or you can go to the blue sky @vaguelyscientific, or you can comment on our YouTube stream feed, whatever it is. I don't know. Hey, Jim, Where do we get all these wacky questions?
We get them from you, the listeners. And if you have a question that needs to be answered in a vaguely scientific manner, please email us at questions@vaguelyscientific.com. You want to get our episodes the minute that they're released? Well, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcast, YouTube, Spotify, and all the other great places that cool podcasts like to hang out. And subscribing and leaving feedback really helps us out, and so does telling your friends.
Tell all your friends.
Our vaguely musical intro is composed by Anthony Pizzelli, and don't forget to check out our merch store over at vaguelyscientific.threadless.com. There's ethics probably, and you can get that on a shirt or a mug or whatever you so choose.
So thank you to Hunter for coming on and talking to us about both serious and ridiculous topics.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
For Vaguely Scientific, I am Derek.
I'm Jim.
I'm Hunter.
Yay! A restart is required to finish installing updates.
Toodaloo, everyone.
That's it. That's the episode.
We did it.
I think you should be allowed to stick silverware in toasters.
I mean, you are allowed.
I think they should build toasters so that you could just do that.
I mean,
I'm not stopping you. Go ahead.
I know why. I just think that we should have solved it by now, and you should just be able to fish your bagel out with a knife, and it's no biggie. That's all I've been thinking about for the last 10 minutes.
Huh. Yeah, never really.
Right.
Now that you've said that specific sentence, I'm like, okay, now I see where you're coming from with this. They need to invent like toaster tongs or something. Some kind of, I don't know.
No, you should just be able to use metal. We shouldn't build a workaround. We should just fix them.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's what you do. You unplug it first, and then I think that's fine, right?
I don't accept that we've all accepted this error.
I don't know that I accept the error. I think I'm just not sanctioning your buffoonery at this point.
You like your kitchen appliances a little bit dangerous?
I like them a little bit dangerous. It's a respectable amount of danger, like a chainsaw.
It's insane that microwaves work, and they're so safe. But my toaster? We haven't changed that in 60 years?
Well, there's a flaw in the microwave that you can't microwave a grape, and I think that's very weird.
Why can't you microwave a grape?
Because the grape turns into plasma.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Just shooting electrons.
Yeah.
They go flying.
I don't know why you can microwave a tomato and not a grape. I don't know. I mean, like I academically, I know they're two very different things, but like internally, I feel like they're mostly the same kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Well,